I believe in libraries, and I believe that libraries play a significant role in closing the digital divide. If we are ever going to make sure that we bring people from invisibility to visibility and to the light and to the meaning of what it means to be connected in these United States of America, our public institutions have to play a role. And so I want to make sure when you get to those Q&A questions that you think about and you ask yourself and you ask this community, what can we do differently to ensure that we are not part of the problem, but we are part of the solution? So I gave you 4 recommendations, and I'm going to say it one more time just so you remember what they are and you write them down. 1, we must bring library resources directly to patrons. And we have to ensure that no library will be left offline ever again, and that our resources will be matched with the physical worlds in which our patrons actually live. We must, as a country, prioritize libraries as public infrastructure. If we're going to get digital infrastructure, water infrastructure, transit infrastructure, electricity and power infrastructure right, we need to make sure that we actually embolden those entities that make communities and make us resilient. We need more money. We got to make sure that we continue to impress upon our policymakers and our budget holders that libraries need money to survive. And sometimes we can use in-kind support from federal resources like the Corporation for National Service to create digital service corps that work directly in our nation's libraries to help us advance digital equity and inclusion. And finally, because this pandemic is kind of still here, we need to reimagine our individual roles in this equation. What are we doing to ensure that we're creating a more perfectly connected union that will ensure that future generations not only respect the institutional history of our libraries, but we also understand that the train has left the station and we cannot exist as dinosaurs in a world in which the T-Rex is now put out in a society where we now have things like the metaverse and artificial intelligence and augmented reality and virtual reality. What do we need to do to ensure that the library is the holder, the place where that digital imagination flourishes, and we grow in the meantime, and we get the professional development to make that pivot during this inflection point?